well about what we're fixing to dive head first into.
Pretty much, yes. But because, and the reason for this, correct me if I'm wrong, is because you and I have both dealt with different things in our past.
Right.
In our marriages, outside of our marriages, just all the way around.
Right.
Fears, sins, just the whole array of a lot of things.
Right, right.
So we are tackling, because God's told us to do this, to overcome fears
in the bedroom.
In the bedroom. There are
specifically in the bedroom.
Yes, we're overcoming fears in the bedroom. We are getting any kind of doubts, fears, questions, anything that pertains to him and I, and within our marriage.
Right.
And pretty much just laying it all out there.
And everything that we are going to be talking about is from a biblical standpoint of within the bedroom of each topic.
Based on our experience as well, because we can't talk about things that we have not experienced ourselves or dealt with or struggled with or whatever the case may be.
Okay, so tell us some of the things that we're going to be talking about in some of the videos that are coming up. We don't know when they're going to happen. Just keep looking. And just
whatever God says.
Whenever He says to do it, that's when we're going to do that particular topic.
So for me, it's past sexual sins and struggles with doing things of the past, presently, or in the future with my husband.
Right.
Now, God has pretty much given us free reign when it comes to our bedroom within a marriage. And I say that, I'm going to emphasize that part. Within a marriage.
within a marriage that is focused on God.
Right.
You know,
and there are a lot of things that we have talked about and said, we are not going to do this. But then God
says, whoa, wait just a minute.
He says,
I'm going to final say here.
Even though husband and wife have agreed
that's not an area we wanted to go to.
Correct. Right. But God said, in order to remove fears of past or doubts or any other questions that may arise, can arise, have arose, whatever the case may be, we're gonna eliminate them now.
Right.
So therefore, He has thrown some stuff in our path, and it's like,
gosh, it's been in the last 2 months. It's been like big time. So what's some of the topics? We're going to talk about masturbation. Okay. We're going to talk about pornography.
Yes.
We're going to talk about what? Sex toys. Ooh. We're going to talk about sex toys. We're going to talk about, is that okay in all of these areas?
Right.
We're going to talk about sexual sins like adultery. We're going to go into that. We're going to also talk about something that is not spoken about enough in the Christian community. Any of this is not talked about enough, but one area that we're really going to focus on because it's affecting my life right now, and it has affected your life in the past, which is stuff like incest type situations, say that for me.
Molestation.
There you go. Whether it's coming from a parent, a step parent, or has come from a relative, uncle, aunt, none of this is going to be off limit. We're going to touch on all of that. Okay. We're going to talk about I said about adultery, right?
Adultery, yes.
Man and woman adultery,
Mm-hmm.
how you can overcome that kind of stuff. And we're just going to dive into
how
all of
you
this.
can avoid it.
Avoid it, sending dirty text messages or pictures.
Dirty talk between
dirty talk between
in a marriage.
Your spouse.
Right.
What's off limits, what's not off limits
Mm-hmm.
on any of these subjects. Okay, and we would love to hear your feedback. If you watch these videos, please comment on them and let us know what you think about it.
Question or want to hear something about something, or if we
absolutely.
can, And like we said, every area that we're talking about are areas that we have experienced something in. It's not that we're picking and choosing. These are things that God has allowed us to go through in our lives. Therefore, and a lot of them we have overcome, and there's some that we may still be struggling with, and we're going to overcome them together. And I say together as in me and my husband and God we're going to overcome these together. Right. And hopefully in your marriage as well, you, your spouse, and God will come together, and you can overcome them together as well.
Right.
So,
and we're all, and the whole point of this is not just to make a video.
No.
But this is where I see churches failing. They don't go into these topics enough, and because depending on what denomination of a church that you attend, mm-hmm. it's kind of like, no, let's go chastity type, and we can't talk about that, or we can't talk about this in God's house, or we can't do the... Guys, God created sex, okay? He created for two reasons. One, to have a baby. Other, to have a lot of fun. Within
the marriage.
Mm-hmm. Okay? So why can't we talk about that? If God writes a whole book, has somebody pen a whole book, mm-hmm. the Song of Songs, the whole 8 chapters is nothing about other than sex, mm-hmm. and how we should desire each other as a man, mm-hmm. as a man and a woman.
Absolutely.
Key, what I just said: man and a woman, not man and a man or woman and a woman, but man and woman. Mm-hmm. That's the only relationship that God is allowed in His Word. Okay, so mm-hmm. we have to make sure that nothing else outside of our biblical relationship, mm-hmm. we don't bring anything else, or let me rephrase, bring anyone else into our bedroom mm-hmm. activities. Okay,
right.
All right. So I think that's a pretty good list of topics.
Yeah. And another reason I just thought about was, even when we were young people, there was no biblical direction.
No.
On how to tackle some of these things. Like if you're highly guarded when you're growing up and you don't understand things, and you get married and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Or how do I act or react? What if he asks me to do this? This, that, there's tons of questions.
I mean, we're going to talk about all kind of stuff.
Yeah, and even if you've been married before, like you and I have, there are certain things that you've experienced and I've experienced, and they may not be the same experience, but they may be, you know.
And we're going to talk about that kind of
stuff. So it's just kind of a biblical standpoint of what is okay and what is not okay according to
Bible.
Only God's Word.
Yeah.
Only God's Word. Not anything else. Not anywhere else. Not from any other source. It's from Father alone.
This is coming from a Christian standpoint.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The only standpoint it should come from.
Absolutely. And that's the only reason that we're doing this, is because we know that God is saying there's not enough people that know what I want them to know. and how their bedroom relationship should compare to the relationship as an individual would have with me. Okay, which is God.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to tie all of that in to some of these topics that we're talking about. So, guys, we just wanted to make this real short video and just kind of talk about some of the upcoming things that we're going to have for 2022. I said 2. I got it right.
Good job.
All right. Guys, have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next video. Be looking for these topics. Okay, and much more on other topics as well, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Whenever God says do it, we'll do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
See ya.
See ya.